Welcome to the first block of the prepare to play phase. Now with games almost scheduled and training back under maybe a couple of weeks, we want to start exposing ourselves to maximal effort. We've built up a long journey to get here, and if you've been doing this so far, congratulations, you've built up safely and you're now fully prepared to do this. Now I will iterate that if you haven't done a lot of build up pace, then don't start on this. This is dangerous to be going max speed from cold, if you like. You have to have given the body a bit of a chance to get some strength into you, get some power work into you, get some multi-direction into you, get some stability, mobility, and gradual exposure of high speed as well. You're going into this from zero to hero. Never let anyone look like a hero, because it breaks down the body very, very quickly. Okay, so before we start though, we'd like to do our A skip. We have a pattern and protocol of the A skips, which I think are, sorry, A skips and B skips, linear mechanics, which I think don't need to change. They need to be practiced. They're a coordinated movement that need a lot of exposure. So we'll go through what they are. So the first one, it's only 10-meter track. First one is A skips. So we're going to march ourselves into the A skip and then get a little bit faster as we get to the top, right? So you can start off slowish on the first couple of steps and then start to get a little bit faster, pushing force into the floor. Good. So this is a bit shorter than 10 meters, but just have a 10-meter track here because we're trying to emphasize what the speed is after, right? So 10 meters of A skips, punching down into the floor, push the floor away, push the floor away, push the floor away. Good. Yeah, and then you go into your B skips. So B skips is more of a cyclic action, so the hamstring is working through range and hitting the balls of your feet is the coaching point here. So again, bringing that foot around. We're just going to do everything twice here for coaching purposes, but at home you can just do it once. Hitting the floor, balls of your feet hits the floor, so it's that scraping action of the foot cycling around and hitting the floor. Then you go into the jocking. So the jockeying is left and right. So again, just opening up the hip in that functional pattern. So a zigzag, so left and right, yeah. Zigzag, so open up the hips, open up the hips, open up the hips. Good, good. So it can be done really unpurposeful and you just laboured, or it can be done really high intensity by keeping your hips open and being in a good position to move from. So, yeah, that's all right. You're just getting an extra practice round in. That's good. And then go into a lateral shuffle. So facing me or facing away from me, it doesn't really matter. Toes always forward and maintaining a wide base of support as you shuffle down the track. So again, about 10 meters if you have it. And the other side. 10 meters as well, shuffling, keeping that wide base of support. That wide base of support allows you to move laterally, left and right, up and down, and it just keeps you in a functional position to move from. And last one is straight leg running before we go into our max speed. Yeah, so accelerate yourself down, balls of your feet again, contact, but you're accelerating as you get to the top, and relax. Okay, now we're on to our max speed exposure, right? So there's a good rest in between here. It may feel like it's a long rest, and in between the rest you can play on the ball, you can do some technical work, some very light technical work if you want, because it is long rest relative to how much time you're working, but there's a reason for that. You want to be, two things with speed, you want to be maximal effort and you want to be fully refreshed. If it's not one of those things, it's probably not speed development. So, set up again like we were before and get into a good athletic position. Drive back the front foot, or the first step is to drive back to get into those linear mechanics, and then sprint yourself forward. Nice pistol action and your hands are working. You're going 10 meters on the first one, you're doing that 3 times, okay? So focus and sprint 10 meters and then relax. Now what we're saying here is we're resting for around a minute. So have a drink, have a rest. You can play some head, whatever you want to do, some technical work on the ball before you go into the next rep. So same thing again, we're going to do 3 reps of these and then relax. So again, you can be doing technical work and having a chat with your partner, best to do this with someone, or if you want, just keeping the ball up, soloing it, whatever you want to do. Just give yourself about a minute rest and then maximally go for the effort again. And the third one is 10 meters. Yep. Yeah, just 10. And now the next 3 now are 20 meters. So this is 20 meters sprint. Again, we're a bit longer rest in this one, so we're adding 30 seconds rest on this one, so because we're working for a couple of more seconds. Yeah. So same thing again, good setup, sprinting out 20 meters and then slowing down gradually. Again, like I said before, make sure you have a ball with you, you're doing some technical work, you're having plenty of rest, and it's important that you kind of fill the time a little bit so it doesn't feel too boring for you to be out there, especially if you've got gorgeous Irish weather and you're going to be in the rain. It can be a difficult session. Just make sure you're keeping active in between. You don't have to be completely rest, but you're just doing nothing strenuous. Okay, and then into the second one. Good. And we won't make Sandra do a third one on this one because we've got the 30-meter speed after. So you do another one of them as well. Again, resting that time. All the rest time and everything will be on the PDF, so you don't have to remember anything. And then we're going on to our final 3 reps. So just do 1 rep of this, 30 meters, all the way out 30 meters. Yep, when you're ready. And into a max sprint. Yeah, and then graduate slowly. Obviously, we're not taking as much rest as you are at home, so we don't need to do the other 2 reps. But it's 9 reps altogether, 3 short, 3 medium, and 3 a bit longer. Okay, now we're going into our change of direction. Okay, so we want to change direction on a few things, and as you've seen some of these videos before, the cones are just as a reference. They're not the be all and end all. Okay, of all this. So they're just here as a reference. If you don't have cones, please just make it up on the change direction. It's actually probably more functional for you. Just make sure you are sprinting. But 7 meters out is a rough guide. So I'm just going to put that cone as a reference here. 45 degrees. I'll make a 45-degree track. You know where 90 degrees is. We'll just put this blue cone here at 90 degrees because it's already here. And then we have a 135. But just do one side for the purpose of this drill. And obviously you have to have the other side as well set up for yourself. So make that sort of 45-degree cut, a 90-degree cut, and a 135 cut. So we practice this. So again, I'll just take this away just to re-emphasize that it's only a reference point. So I'm just going to put this to the side. You know you're going to be turning and changing direction on here. So 45-degree cut will be, imagine you're like a train, momentum's pushing you forward. You've got to step outside your center mass to drive you off at 45 degrees. You don't want to lose any momentum, but you do need to step outside your center mass to drive you, take you off the path that you're on. Okay. Yep, and then decelerate again. So there's acceleration, deceleration, again, practicing those mechanics, good natural position, good athletic position, drive the back step, and so on. Okay, we'll do 190 degree. Yeah, so this here to the blue one. You're going straight out to here. So still 1, and then just sprint to here, right? So we're still on 1 change of direction. Yeah. So cut and decelerate, perfect. And we do 1 on the 135. So you're going out to where you were before, always to that same spot, center spot, and then back 135. Yeah, and then decelerate on that one. Okay, so you do 2 on each of these, and then 2 on the other side also. Now we're going on to 2 change of direction, right? So you can do similar to the setup again. So imagine this is the center. Now it's not exactly the same dimensions as you'll do at home. You'll hopefully do this a little bit wider and have space in the park wherever you can do this. So the track here is you come out, again, use this as a reference point. I'm doing a 45-degree cut to here, and then I'm doing a 90-degree cut to this one. Again, this will be a little bit longer as you at home. So in and in here. Okay, so that's your 90-degree cut. Okay, out, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. Perfect. You do 2 on your left, and you do 2 on your right. We just do 1 more on our left. Pushing off the right. Good, pushing off the right, and then in. As you see, you're pushing off the right here twice, so you'll have to go on the other side as well. Now that's 2 change direction, and the third one then, you're going to come in, again, train tracks outside the center of mass, here, train tracks outside the center of mass. You kind of have to get a bit lower for a 90-degree cut, and then roughly a 135-degree cut is back to where you came, right? So you go 1, change direction, 2 change directions, back to the blue, and then back to the center spot again for the 135. So it's 3 change directions. Okay, pushing off the right, pushing off the right, pushing off the right, and then decelerate onto that cone as well. 7-meter track at home, make it a bit wider if it's a little bit easier, make it as realistic to the game as possible. Obviously this is a change of direction drill, but you're practicing everything at once here, and then you try the other side, it'll all be a left-sided turn, or left leg turn, if that makes sense, on these runs. And that's your program. So you're now doing your linear aim mechanics, you're now up to max speed over 30 meters, which is great. Building up the volume on this. Now remember, this is a 2-block phase of 4 weeks of this stuff. So you're going to repeat this for 4 weeks, and then you got change of direction. Three different 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and 135 degrees, and in 3 repeated 3 times. You do a 45, you do a 90, and then you do 135 all in one sequence. So this should very much prepare you for the game. Practice it, take your time to work on it. Everyone can improve their movement, everyone can improve their agility, everyone can improve their speed if you dedicate time to it. Very trainable things. Obviously there's there's potential within you to reach, and I don't think people reach their potential unless they deliberately train these things. So hope you enjoy these training, hope you enjoy. It's a bit of a larger block, but everything is supporting you in your football. Football's going to take over a large, or hurling's going to take over a large chunk of your time. So these sessions here to supplement your way back. Hope you're enjoying everything. Stay safe, keep consistent, and it's the best way to manage yourself throughout this return to play.